After an absolute sleepless night, I am finally ready to show you where I came. So last night I flew to Athens. I spent the night at the airport because it was too expensive to get a hotel, so I decided 5 hours, not a big deal. Stay at the airport and just catch a very early morning flight to Zakynthos, where I am right now. This is my room. Tiago is not here yet, couldn't get off work a bit earlier, so he only gonna join me tomorrow on a Saturday. I already, as you know, I like to unpack things, so I already unpacked everything. This is my room. We got a free upgrade, which is really nice and unexpected. And very unexpectedly, I had a dream come true that I had for a while, but I never really actively worked towards making it come true. And the dream is to have a private pool in the room. I'm planning to record maybe there, maybe outside or inside the room somewhere in a beautiful place. I'm planning to record a little reflections about my first months of work. I did not bring a lot of things with me for this vacation. I decided to have a sort of a reset where I don't have many things. I just completely kind of trust the process and relax and try to get as much rest as possible. I just slept 3 hours and I feel a bit tired still, so I'm definitely gonna have an early night tonight. And they checked me in at 1, and before I was just by the pool and just soaking up as much sun as possible. I think I already got a slight tan going on, which is so exciting. Yeah, and I'll see you later. Maybe I'll show you some of the dinner. So we have dinner and breakfast included in this hotel, so maybe I'll show you some of them. Decided to have a little stroll before I go for dinner. So far a little bit of a false advertisement with the turquoise clear water on this island, because this water is definitely not very clear. I'll show you. Yeah, there's a lot of gunk. Hopefully when we go to some other more distant beaches it will be better, but so far so good. Hey, let's go for dinner. The best part about having a private area is that I can still be outside in the evening without going to the common areas, and I can still breathe some fresh air, and it's just unmatched. It's the first time I had a private areas before, but none with the pool, so it's quite a different experience. It's really cool. I love it. With the pen, so I'm gonna try to write a little kind of diary style reflections of today. So far it has been so nice. Plan for tomorrow. My fiance is coming in the morning and he probably gonna sleep the whole day because he's gonna have a sleepless night, similar to what I had last night. I am planning to have a massage. I already booked one for 10:30 in the morning, and then I'm just gonna go and lay by the pool until he wakes up, and then maybe in the evening we can try to arrange a tour for us for the upcoming days, because on this island, Zakynthos, there's so much to see around the island. Leave my number, yeah. 411, please.
411, please.
Hello everyone, I am in my private pool. I wanted to sunbathe without my top off, but then I realized that it's not that private. Like you can still see people. So this dream will have to wait for a better time, will it?
Yeah.
Everyone, I decided to check in. I have spent the entire day by the pool. Tiago just arrived this morning and he's sleeping at the moment because he's obviously super tired. I have to say, this hotel is such a dream, but that's not why I wanted to check in. So, as you know, I have been pending to make a video about my first month of working as doctor in Ireland quite a bit, and I think the time has come. I think I'm gonna be sharing some of the details along this trip just to kind of make this video not only about the vacation itself, but also about some like things that has been happening in my life lately. So first things first, I have been a senior house officer, which is a position of a junior doctor in Ireland, for 3 months now. I started on the 10th of March, and my current contract with this particular role is until July. And the first question I'm going to answer is what's next. So in Ireland, the way the system works is every July there's a big changeover of all the doctors that go around the country. They can be training position, they can be non-training position. I'm currently occupying a non-training position, which is slightly harder to come by because most of the people that get employed, they're getting employed through training. It can be either a basic specialist training, a higher specialist training, or some other sort of trainings that I'm sure are out there. But the other way is to get employed, is to get a standalone, what they call a standalone position, and that's exactly what I'm doing at the moment. I have a standalone position as a senior house officer, which is actually junior doctor in respiratory department in one of the hospitals in County Dublin. And usually the way you change over in July, if you're standalone, you start looking for a job around April, May, maybe even earlier, and you start doing interviews, you start going kind of searching for what you want to do next year if you're not going into any sort of training, which is what I'm not doing this year because I wasn't able to secure a place in the basic specialist training that I applied earlier in the year. I will, however, apply again next year, but at the moment what I needed is another contract from July. And I obviously, my preference was to stay in the hospital I'm currently at because I already know the structure, I know the consultants, I know like kind of, you know, what's going on around, I know all of the departments, and it felt like a good fit for me for the time being. So I told HR that I'm very happy to stay. However, they were a bit dodgy to say the least, because they kind of made it sound like you cannot just stay without having another interview, which is fine. So I said, sign me up, whatever you need, I'll do it again. So I had to go through another round of interview, not just one interview, and after that I have been offered 2 roles in the hospital I'm working at. Either a rotator role, which is basically like it is a contract role, but you are basically every day at a different department filling in the spots that are needed to be filled, or the second option was to be a part of an age-related unit. And of course, knowing me and knowing how I like stability, I decided to go for an age-related unit. So from July on, for 1 year time, I will be staying in my hospital for a position of a junior doctor in the geriatrics department, which is the same as age-related, which is mostly it's mostly rehabilitation, but they have some acute patients as well. So I hope to learn a lot about some aspects that I haven't been in touch with before. For example, they have a lot of stroke patients that survived a stroke, and now they're doing rehabilitation concerning like regaining their ability like to, you know, walk, talk, and whatever, exercise, and basically live their life after having a stroke. And I find this area very interesting. Having said that, I am not moving anywhere from Dublin. I know that I mentioned in my previous videos that my boyfriend, my fiance, he is moving away because he is starting his higher specialist training in actually geriatrics as well. So he's going to be geriatrician in 5 years officially. So his first year will be in a town in the city 1.5 hours from Dublin. So from July he'll be moving there, and I'm staying in our apartment in Dublin, so it's going to be our base. And then he'll just come over for weekends to see me, or maybe I'll come over to him depending on the living arrangements. So that's a little update into what I'm currently doing as a doctor and what I'm going to be doing next intake, which is a July intake. And I'll try to update you on more of a kind of what it feels like to work as a doctor, what is my day today looks like, what kind of calls on calls I have, and etc., a bit further into this video. Or maybe I'll sit down and have like a whole separate video. I have a little bit of footage that I already edited from the on-calls that I have been doing. I had some footage from my night calls and from my day calls. However, it was very little because obviously I didn't shoot a lot in the hospital, or almost none of it, because you know I don't want to be doing that. I mostly just shot little bits and pieces, and altogether it came to around 4 minutes. So obviously that's not enough for a full-on video, so I'll probably insert this clip or maybe some further clips in that video. I am enjoying the sun here in Greece, and I hope to chat with you a little bit more later. Thank you.
The food is great.
Hotel? Oh, the hotel is great. You know me, like I am very easygoing and very low maintenance. That is true.